Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. The differences between former best friends CM Punk and Paul Heyman seem to escalate each week. On this week's episode of Monday Night Raw, Heyman interrupted JUSO's opening segment promo for two reasons. Firstly, to deliver a message on behalf of Seth Rollins, making it clear that he intends to challenge USO for the World Heavyweight Championship at the time and place of the champion's choosing. That turned out to be the night's main event, where Rollins came extremely close to winning the title until CM Punk returned to Raw and foiled the Architect's vision. This brings us to the other reason Heyman came out. He cut an emotional promo where he explained his actions from the main event of WrestleMania 41. According to him, it wasn't he who betrayed anyone. It was Roman Reigns and CM Punk who betrayed him. That moment, paired with Punk's return later in the show, sets up another round of their long, complicated on-screen relationship. But that brings us to the big question. Has their real-life relationship also taken a hit? It would be safe to say that is not the case. Despite their issues on the screen, Heyman and Punk are known to be extremely close in real life. As both men have stated multiple times, Heyman believed in Punk during the initial stages of his WWE tenure when nobody else did. He fought for him behind the scenes, giving him the platform to shine in his early days. Punk has never shied away from acknowledging that the respect is mutual. The voice of the voiceless sat right beside Heyman's children at the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony last year in Philadelphia, where the Wiseman headlined the class of 2024. CM Punk and Paul Heyman's latest developments are just the next chapter in a classic storyline between two people who understand how to make great TV, especially on opposite sides. The World Heavyweight Championship match between reigning champion JUSO and the inaugural champion Seth Rollins saw Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn attempt to assist their respective allies. Toward the finish, it seemed almost inevitable that the Visionary would reclaim his title, but the return of CM Punk hindered him. Punk went after Breaker and Rollins with a steel chair, causing a DQ finish. As a result, JUSO ended up retaining the World Heavyweight Championship under controversial circumstances, which are sure to play out over the next few weeks on Monday Night Raw. Tathya Sachdev is an undergraduate student majoring in English literature and an aspiring professional snooker player. Before joining Sportskeeda's WWE Trends division, Tathya spent a year as a news writer for Wrestling News and Wrestling Headlines and has contributed editorials to various publications. Tathya got hooked on wrestling during the road to WrestleMania 34 when there was widespread speculation about a potential John Cena versus The Undertaker match because they had always been the two most popular stars amongst the casual viewing audience in the country. The build-up to their match fueled his curiosity. Despite the brief match, he began exploring wrestling through Sportskeeda, which led him to become passionate about the industry. CM Punk is a standout figure for Tathya, as he believes the star is a true master of blending fiction and reality in wrestling. Among a whole lot of things about CM Punk, he also resonates with Punk's mantra, "I'm straight edge, and straight edge means I'm better than you." Alright, maybe not the last part. Tathya interviewed wrestling stars such as Gunther and Drew McIntyre at the WWE Superstar Spectacle 2023 in Hyderabad. Beyond wrestling, snooker remains Tathya's top priority alongside academics. He promotes snooker and billiards through written content and multimedia for the Sportal, Apex Sports, and independently. In the world of professional wrestling, fiction often dances hand in hand with reality. Blurred lines, half-truths, and personal history all fuel compelling storytelling. That's what made Paul Heyman's recent words on WWE Raw about CM Punk so chilling. The advocate, the wise man, the master orator of professional wrestling let loose a line that felt less like a promo and more like a punch to the heart. "I loved CM Punk like a son. But sometimes, even sons betray you." The crowd gasped. Twitter exploded. Wrestling fans leaned in, asking the inevitable question, does Paul Heyman really hate CM Punk? Or was this just another layer in WWE's never-ending drama? Let's explore the real story, both the kayfabe and the truth behind the curtain. To understand the emotion behind Heyman's words, we need to rewind nearly 2 decades. Back to the trenches of Ohio Valley Wrestling OVW, WWE's developmental system at the time. It was there that Heyman first laid eyes on a brash, straight-edge kid with a loud mouth and unmatched passion, CM Punk. Punk wasn't a WWE prototype. He was smaller, tattooed. He didn't drink, didn't pander, didn't politic. But Paul Heyman saw something, an intensity that couldn't be taught. While others in management were ready to pass Punk over, Heyman became his fiercest advocate, reportedly fighting tooth and nail to keep him on WWE's radar. When Heyman was handed control of the ECW reboot in 2006, he brought Punk along for the ride, giving him mic time, matches, and the freedom to be himself. To Heyman, CM Punk was the second coming of the rebel spirit he had ignited with ECW a decade earlier. That early trust created a bond that would shape both of their careers. In 2012, that history came full circle. CM Punk was in the midst of a legendary WWE Championship reign, 434 Days of Glory, and Paul Heyman returned to his side, this time not as a mentor behind the scenes, but as his on-screen mouthpiece. The irony? Punk didn't need someone to talk for him. He was already one of the best promos in wrestling history. But their chemistry? Electric. Heyman's smug charisma and Punk's righteous fury created a dynamic unlike anything else in WWE. They weren't just aligned. They were reflections of each other. Punk was the voice of the voiceless. Heyman was the mind behind the rebellion. Together, they made magic. And then, as always happens in wrestling, the turn came. In 2013, the friendship cracked. Storyline-wise, Heyman turned on Punk during Money in the Bank, costing him victory with a steel ladder and an emotional, unforgettable betrayal. In real life, the seeds of separation had already been sown. Punk was growing disillusioned with WWE. The politics, the injuries, the creative stifling, it was all weighing on him. By January 2014, CM Punk walked out of WWE. He left a Royal Rumble PPV, didn't return, and months later was officially released. On his wedding day, no less. That walkout sent shockwaves through WWE and through Heyman. In interviews over the years, he's described the moment as bittersweet and painful, admitting that Punk became collateral damage in his own backstage wars. So here's the question. Do they actually hate each other? The answer is complicated. Both men have spoken publicly with respect about each other. Heyman has called Punk one of the greatest talents he's ever seen. He said their relationship was real, that there was no acting in their promos. The love was genuine. So was the betrayal. Punk, for his part, has always separated Heyman from WWE's leadership. In one revealing interview, he said, "Paul was my friend. But he wasn't signing my checks. He didn't have the power to stop what happened to me." It's a telling quote. It means Punk never saw Heyman as the enemy, but perhaps as someone who stood by when the knives came out. Fast forward to WWE Raw 2025. Heyman, now the wise man in the Bloodline saga, cuts a promo so sharp it draws blood. When he name-dropped Punk and spoke of betrayal, it felt too personal to ignore. The line stirred real emotion because, beneath the wrestling fiction, it echoed real wounds. Fans wondered, was Heyman venting real frustration? Or simply doing what he does best, weaving reality into performance? Chances are, it was both. Paul Heyman is a master storyteller. He knows the power of truth disguised as fiction. A promo that scratches at real scars is more believable, more dangerous, more unforgettable. WWE often walks that tightrope. It's how they created magic with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, with Edge and Matt Hardy, and now, perhaps, with Heyman and Punk again, this time, with more gray hair and more history. With CM Punk now back in WWE after a decade-long hiatus, the timing is delicious. The two icons, one on the mic, one in the ring, are once again under the same roof. The promo on Raw might be the first domino in a much bigger story. Could we see a full-on feud between Paul Heyman's bloodline and CM Punk? Could Punk recruit his own disciples to stand against the empire Heyman has built? Or, perhaps, could time heal all wounds? Could we see Punk and Heyman reunite one more time? Two battered rebels, back to back against a new enemy? In wrestling, never say never.